Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So Ford issues a call to action to all of its suppliers, saying everything is on the table. Ford is bleeding badly, and they are desperately trying to find a way to stop the bleeding. But they have so many things fighting against them right now that I don't think Ford, or GM for that matter, sees the light at the end of the tunnel. They are still in the pitch black of darkness. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. Ford issued a call to action asking its suppliers to cut costs in the push to turn their EV business profitable. But as Ford is losing about $130,000 on every EV they sell, I think they need a lot more than just its suppliers to try to find some savings here and there. But Ford is desperately trying to find a way to reduce cost as their EV business is bleeding money. Ford expects to lose about $5.5 billion on its EV business this year, so no wonder they're trying everything they can to reduce cost. So this is what Ford's Chief Supply Chain Officer Liz Daw said. Everything is on the table. Considering this a call to action, it is in our best interest that we are able to deliver affordable EV products to our customers. To ensure affordability, it is of paramount importance that our portfolio achieves further level of material cost efficiency. That all sounds good, but I don't think the suppliers for their electric vehicles are entirely happy with Ford at the moment, as Jeff Lutz also pointed out in his post. And remember, Jeff is also a Chief Supply Chain Officer, so he actually knows what he is talking about here, as he wrote. Tough call when you are running at less than 25% of what you told them to tool up for. This call works when your volume are stable or increasing, or you are the largest game in town. And Ford's EV business are none of those things. In Q1, they were down compared to Q1 of 2023 and Q1 of 2022. They are not at stable volume, and they are by no means the biggest player in town. They are over an order of magnitude smaller than Tesla. So what Jeff is saying here is that Ford has told all their suppliers to gear up for this huge push for EVs, because Tesla sells a boatloads of EVs, so if we just make a couple of EVs, we should also be selling a buttload of EVs, and even more than Tesla, because we are Ford and everyone loves our brand. And then they make some very nice electric vehicles, not software-defined vehicles, but nice EVs. But they just don't stack up to what Tesla is offering, especially not after all the price cuts. And Ford is not seeing the demand they had hoped for, or even saw in the beginning when they showed off their vehicles. Ford even closed their pre-orders for the F-150 Lightning after nearly 200,000 reservations. And we saw in 2022 Ford doubling their target, not just once, but twice. But Ford has not sold the 200,000 F-150 Lightnings yet. So where has all that demand gone? There is, of course, not just one answer to that, as we know the average selling price of a new car has gone up in the US from 2018 to 2023 with about $12,000. On top of that, the interest rates has never been higher. Here is a chart of the interest rate through the last 5 years. These rates reflect the Federal Reserve response to various economic conditions, including the significant rate cuts in 2020 and 2021 to support the economy during the COVID pandemic, followed by substantial rate hikes starting in 2022 to combat rising inflation. But even if we look back 10 10 years the interest rate has never been higher, and the average selling price of a car has never been higher either. And the F-150 Lightning and the Mark E are all vehicles that are priced quite a bit higher than the average selling price. So these are very expensive vehicles to get your hands on. So all of this of course also plays into the demand dropping off a cliff for Ford. But another one is of course that Tesla does offer a better product for a cheaper price. It is just very hard to fight against that. Not easy standing there with a car that costs more or even just the same if you with the Tesla get much better software that gets better all the time and is much safer and has better safety assist features and 40% more cargo space, but is faster and more efficient and charge faster. When we look at these factors, that Tesla is in the same market as Ford, it kind of makes sense that most people would just go for the Model Y and not the Mark E. Not that the Mark E is a bad electric car. I have test drive this car myself and I think it's a very nice car. But when it comes to value for money, there is just no contest between these two cars. And Ford does not have the same power as Tesla that can cut prices on their cars and still earn money. Ford is already losing $130,000 per EVs they sell and is now calling to action for their suppliers to cut costs, so don't think Ford is interested in cutting the price of their EVs any further. So Ford is not really competitive against Tesla, as they can't compete on price because their vehicles should actually be priced about $140,000, but at the same time it cannot even compete on specs either. And then we lay all the other factors of high interest rate and higher sticker price on top of that, and the result is that Ford's addressable market is shrinking dramatically. And of course, not to mention, Tesla has come out with the Cybertruck and is ramping up deliveries, and that truck is embarrassing Ford's slogan of build tough. None of the F-150s are built tough like a Cybertruck, and the cool factor of the Cybertruck is just off the chart. We see so many celebrities driving the Cybertruck, and Kim Kardashian has even purchased the second Cybertruck in all matte black. Looks like she doesn't want to be seen in anything else but a Cybertruck. I don't think the Beast is helping to put more orders in for the boring, fragile, outdated EV pickup truck the F-150 Lightning is compared to the engineering masterpiece of the Cybertruck. So Ford's EV business is looking very bad. They don't have the demand anymore they thought they had, so all the promises of catching up to Tesla and making 2 million EVs in 2026 is all coming crumbling down around them. So all the demand they told their suppliers they would have, and therefore the suppliers ramped up their production and ordering the parts to get ready for this crazy push for EVs, and then Ford is suddenly cutting all those targets back and probably leaving the suppliers to pay the bill for all the excess parts they have ordered. And now they are even coming out making a call to action for the suppliers they kinda screwed over to cut their price even further or find other ways to cut the cost of their parts. Ford must really be desperate to come up with some way to stop the bleeding their EV business is doing, because we saw in their earnings call that the cost of goods sold has been flat in Q1, so they are not getting the cost down on their EVs. And I highly doubt they will be able to stop the bleeding before they get to the next generation EV platform their skunk team is working on. But now Ford is cutting back on their EV business and focusing on hybrids, so when will we even get to see the next generation EV platform? Before it's too late? Well, we have to wait and see, but it is definitely not looking good for Ford's Model E. Not easy doing what Tesla did, now that Tesla is also here as a competitor to you, which Tesla never had in the beginning, and have higher sticker price and higher interest rates to navigate, as well as being up against the best-selling car in the world from Tesla. And they just don't seem to be able to do what Tesla did. We are seeing both Ford and GM have so far not been able to get their EVs successfully off the ground in high volume, even though many analysts said that Ford and GM could single-handedly kill Tesla if they wanted to. Well, they should probably have done so, as there is no killing Tesla now. And now it looks more like Tesla is killing them. And someone like GM just continues living in their bubble, where they think people will just believe everything they say, as Mary Barra have even said this year that 2024 is the year of execution on their EVs. And in Q1, their EV business was down 21% compared to Q1 of 2023. So what I talked about last year that I thought would happen in 2024 seems to come true. As I said, I actually expect GM to go down in 2024, as they had cut off the production of the only EV they had in some volume, the Bolt. And we have seen no evidence that GM was able to ramp up their Ultium EV platform, and in 2024 that would be the only thing that is left. And we do see that GM of course is trying to make it sound like their Ultium is ramping up fast, as they sold 9 times as many Ultium EVs in Q1 year over year, but that only resulted in 9,000 units delivered. So the last 7,400 units in Q1 was leftovers from the Bolt production that is going completely away. So let's see how their sale numbers will look in Q2, because they have been ramping up their Ultimum platform for 2 years now, and 9,000 units in a whole quarter is the best they can do. Well, the year of executions look a lot closer to be the year where GM will be executed for not delivering even on promises made within that year. So let's see if Ford find a way to stop the bleeding to even higher losses, and if GM can get their Ultium platform to any meaningful volume in this most important year of execution, as Mary put it herself. I think 2024 is going to be a very tough year for Ford and GM, and Tesla will probably show the world their real robotaxi, the Cybercab, and still produce about 1.8 million EVs in a year where GM and Ford are saying they don't have the demand for EVs. And all of this will just make Tesla look extremely strong and the legacy automakers look extremely desperate. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.